What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Dynasty on the channel, a series where I take you through a full season of my Dynasty Fantasy Football League. Now, the last episode was kind of a prequel, right? Kind of set everything up, gave you guys all the background information, explained what happened last year, made a few trades, covered the draft in that video as well, and you guys probably are getting a good sense of my plan if you've watched that video. And this video is going to be a lot of the same thing, getting you more prepared and updating you guys on my team. I'm recording this video on August 7th, and the NFL season is about 5 weeks away. So this video is going to be another mini update before the season starts. And then in about 5 weeks, you guys will be getting weekly Dynasty episodes covering each week of Dynasty, what happened. So the things I'm going to cover in this video, I'm going to update you guys on some trades I've made and some changes I've made to my team. I'm going to get into some expectations for the year. And I'm going to preview for you guys which teams I think are going to be the best in the league. So that way we know which teams are going to be the biggest obstacles to our ultimate goal. Which, as I stated in the first video, the ultimate goal of this series is to take you guys through the whole season and win the Super Bowl. I want to walk through every single move, every single week, and I want to culminate it with the winning of a Super Bowl. So that way I can finally talk my shit in the league group chat. Now, since the last video, I have made 3 noteworthy trades. The first one being I dealt away Deebo Samuel for a package of Jonathan Mingo and DJ Chark. I'm not very high on Deebo Samuel, to be honest with you. I don't think he's that good. So to get 2 younger receivers, I thought was a pretty good deal to ship him away for. Another deal I made, which I made this morning, was trading away tight end Evan Ingram and 2 third-round picks. I'm going to be honest, I don't really value third-round picks that much in a fantasy draft of 10 guys. Not a lot of great players left in the third round. For Alec Pierce, I think I really like his upside. I love Anthony Richardson. He's only 23 years old. He's got good speed, and I've been hearing good news out of training camp about him. So I figured it's could be a pretty good investment for me. But finally, I have the ultimate trade, the big move that I made in this offseason. I always make at least a few big moves. This was my big move post-draft, and you guys are probably going to roast my shit for it, but it's okay because I have a vision. I traded away DK Metcalf, Jonathan Taylor, and a second-round pick, and in exchange, I got Tony Pollard, Brandon Ayuk, and Sam Howell. I got a lot of shit for that trade, right, in the fantasy group chat. They were all talking mad shit. But here's the thing. You have to have a belief in yourself. And if you believe what you're doing is the right way to go, and if you believe that you made the right call and made the right decision, then you have to do it. You can't be scared. I knew I was going to get hella shit for that trade in the group chat, and I did. But at the end of the day, I believe that that is the right move, and I believe that that is the right thing to do, so I had to do it. I had to be ballsy. I had to risk it for the biscuit, and it's done. What's done is done. Now, before you ask, no, I did not know about any of the Jonathan Taylor and Jim Irsay beef stuff before this happened. This trade happened months ago. So you might be asking, why would I trade away DK Metcalf and Jonathan Taylor for another receiver, a running back, and Sam Howell, a guy who has started 1 game so far in his NFL career? Here's my logic. I don't think a guy like DK Metcalf, who doesn't catch a lot of passes, is going to be great in a PPR format, which is what our league is. Now, on the flip side, I think Brandon Ayuk is going to be a receptions machine. He works in that Kyle Shanahan offense, that quick game. I think he's going to catch a lot of passes. He's going to have a lot of opportunities for yards after catch plays. Plus, I think with Jackson Smith and Jigba coming into Seattle, who I have on my team, I think he is going to take away some of the targets and some of the touchdowns and yardage away from DK Metcalf. I think he's going to be more reception dominant than DK Metcalf is. So I like Brandon Ayuk over DK Metcalf. But moving on to the running backs, obviously trading away Jonathan Taylor is ballsy, right? He was the #1 running back in football the last time he played a full season. So why would I do it? Well, my logic at the time of the trade was that I think Anthony Richardson would take away some of his rushing opportunities and some of his touchdowns towards the goal line. And in exchange, getting Tony Pollard, a guy who I think is about to thrive in the Dallas Cowboys offense. He's a better receiving threat, I think, than Jonathan Taylor is. And now that Ezekiel Elliott is out of the way, I think his snap count is going to go way, 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 way up. I mean, he had over 1,000 yards last year, largely sharing the backfield with Ezekiel Elliott. I think this guy is absolutely the limit for Tony Pollard. But ironically enough, what initially started the trade was me inquiring about Sam Howell. Sam Howell is a guy that very much intrigues me. And the reason he does is because if you guys remember before the draft, Sam Howell is a guy that I've always kind of liked more than a lot of people. And last year, he played against the Cowboys, and he looked really, really good. The reports on training camp so far have been positive, but when I first traded for him, what I was really thinking about was the fact that he now has Eric Bieniemy as his offensive coordinator. Now, say what you want about how the Chiefs' offense is run. Obviously, much of it is to the credit of Andy Reid. I do think it's worth noting that Eric Bieniemy was probably a vital part of that Chiefs' offense and is going to take a lot of the same Andy Reid principles over with him to Washington. Especially in a 2-quarterback superflex league, I think having a young QB with a lot of upside is something really good, and it's a good asset to have in fantasy football. So if you guys are enjoying the Dynasty series, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and comment down below what ideas you want to see for this series. I really want to get your guys' input on this. So those were the trades that I made. As my starting quarterbacks, I have Jalen Hurts and Geno Smith. As my running backs, I have Tony Pollard and Kenneth Walker. My receivers are DJ Moore, Brandon Ayuk, and Jackson Smith-Njigba. My tight end, Dallas Goedert. And my flex is going to be Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, my bench is a little iffy. I think I have some high upside guys, and this is probably going to be the team that I go into week 1 with, barring maybe some minor changes here or there. To be honest with you, there are like 3 other teams that I think are as good as mine. And I know this is going to go over very well when this video is published and everybody in my league sees it, but I have to say, I think there are 3 teams that can compete with mine, and the rest are probably a tier below. Team number 1 would have to be the Goofballs, run by my boy Matt, better known as the Clown in Glasses. He's got a team featuring Josh Allen, Derrick Henry, Saquon, Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Cooper Kupp, Travis Kelce, Aaron Jones, and Justin Fields. Now, that's a lot of big names, but some of those guys are pretty old, and I think some of them are due for a regression this season. For example, Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley are older, aging running backs. Will they be able to play a full, healthy season and be as efficient as they've been? Cooper Kupp is coming off a season-ending injury and just got injured again in training camp. Travis Kelce is like 73 years old, but his team is still really good, and it's not going to be a fun matchup whenever I have to go against him. I think another really good team in this league is probably going to be Mr. Miami. I think he's got 2 really good quarterbacks in Tua and Aaron Rodgers. His receivers are great with Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper, Christian Watson, and Tyler Lockett. His running back room is a bit iffy, but he does have Alvin Kamara currently chilling on the bench because of his suspension. And Mr. Miami is actually my week 1 opponent. The next team that I want to talk about that I think is probably going to be a threat in this league is the Shitheads, run by B. Craig. To me, he has a really balanced starting lineup. Trevor Lawrence and Dak Prescott as his quarterbacks. He's got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins for his wide receivers. Also throw in Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson. Mark Andrews is one of the best tight ends in the entire NFL. And Austin Eckler has been a fantasy beast as of late. The only problem is Josh Jacobs. Will Josh Jacobs sit out? He does not seem to be happy at all with the Raiders at this current moment. There is a possibility that he pulls the Le'Veon Bell route and just sits out the whole season. So that could really kind of fuck up his starting lineup. However, he does have Travis Etienne on the bench as a really good backup option. So I think he'll be fine either way. Looking ahead to the season, I'm very excited. I think this team has a real chance to compete for the Super Bowl. It is a much different team than what I had last year, but I think I've made enough good moves to keep myself in contention. Now, I'm still playing around with how I want to do this series on a weekly basis, but if you guys would like to see some kind of punishment for me losing every week, please let me know in the comments down below. I think that could be a kind of a funny idea, but if it's not going to be entertaining for you guys, then I won't even try it. But that's just about going to wrap it up. I wanted to make this video to update you guys on the Dynasty series. I'm very excited to do it as a weekly series in the NFL season. I'm very passionate about fantasy football, and I really like, you guys have probably seen, I made a lot of videos on the channel about fantasy football, but this league to me is personal. I know these guys, I talk to these guys on a daily basis. Nothing would make me feel better than to just shit on all of them and make them shut the fuck up. Stop talking all the fucking time and run their mouth. But seriously, I hope this series is as much fun for you guys as it is for me to make. This is going to be it for this video. Again, please don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I will definitely have a lot more of these uploaded at a later date. Until then, I'll see you tomorrow. Make sure to peep the new videos, and I love you guys. Peace.